Mouthfuls.
Hi, Failboat.
Hey, Jmoji.
Failboat. I'm a really big fan of your videos. I've always wanted to meet you. Please, do you know Virus? Tell him, if you see him, tell him that I like his videos also. Tell him that also. And Virus, if you see Gab, tell him that I like his videos. I totally stole your intro, dude. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I introed the name of the pod.
I think some videos. I don't know. Who is this kid?
I'm just a guy wandering around looking for idols.
You look for someone that actually uploads. Come on now.
I introed the name of the podcast. That's all we need. You know, it's the Mouthfuls. On here, we like to talk. I like to talk. My name is Failboat. He likes to talk. His name is Virus. He likes to talk. His name is Jmoji. He also likes to talk. His name is...
No, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Yeah, hold on. Someone gaming.
Yeah, I think
it's Gaming.
No,
that's what it is.
Greg. It's Greg.
Greg Gabriel Gaming.
Oh, Greg. That's right.
Yeah, and now
it's
ringing
a
bell.
bakery chain in the UK.
Greg Gaming? Very nice. That's nice. It's a good name.
Maybe I'm in the wrong vocation.
Yeah.
The bread's coming soon, people.
Maybe you should be a baker. Make me sausage rolls.
Oh, we do like to talk, Dan. That's a good point. What do you do when you get 4 people who like to talk? You put them together.
Yeah.
You make a talk show. Yeah. Real geniuses we are figuring that one out. Yeah.
What do you do when you get 4 people together that want to talk and you fucking talk?
Look, I have to slow it down for the people watching at home. It might have gone too fast by element by element.
The average demographic for the Failboat viewers between the ages of 0 months and 0 months.
Yeah, I would go even lower. I would say like
in utero.
yeah, somewhere in there. If the mom and dad aren't putting like headphones up to the belly, then you know.
They're like, oh, do you like that? Do you like the funny Failboat video?
The kicking got harder.
Baby Gigi just came to me and was like, you know, I outgrew Failboat channels just last year. I think that's what he said when he was drooling, but you know, it's
outgrew your channel coming out the womb is probably one of the most ferocious ways you can just take down someone's demographic.
His first words were "moom." I remember it like it was yesterday.
Oh God, I'm sorry. this one's just put it back. This one's a failure.
Put it back. Needs more time in there, I think.
They came out of the womb talking about some TNT fella. I don't know what they're talking about.
It's really strange. Doctors couldn't figure it out. He's talking about Hat in Time mods. I don't know what he's on about.
What's your guys' week been like? What you guys been up to? No, we're going beyond the week. Week that's too casual. Month too easy. What's your guys' last year been like?
Oh God,
it's been Jesus Christ.
half a year. Half a year. I'm springing this on you right now.
I feel like I'm at a family get together that happens like once a year, and I'm being interrogated by the people that don't ever see me outside of my room.
Who looks the least prepared to talk about their last year? Who looks the most? Who am I gonna pick on in the class here? Gigi Gabriel Gaming, you have like a pretty stoic face right now. What's going on behind that head of yours?
I mean, it's pretty boring, man. I got a kid, you know?
I would argue that's the most eventful thing that's happened to any of us in the last year.
It's eventful, but I feel like I get it when he says it's boring, because you just kind of... You just become a dad and you don't sleep much.
You know, I don't sleep much, and I saw plenty of game announcement, and I was like, oh, I gotta play this.
And then I don't have the time.
Yeah, well, or then it happened at like, 10 p.m. and I'm like, I can't be up at 10 p.m. I wake up at 5 tomorrow. So yeah, it was like being in the backseat and watching everything pass and be like, I want to be back here, but I gotta love my son. Which I do, you know. I do love my son, but it is it's a big time job, which I love.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's the thing about being a YouTube dad. You got to choose between the life of your firstborn or that motherfucking grind. And you know what? It's one or the other, man. It's got to be one or the other.
I'm sorry, baby Gigi. I chose the grind life.
I chose that grind life. It's just baby Gigi just doesn't have that Sigma grind set that we have. You feel me? To get these videos done. Oh, that's terrible. But no, I totally get what you're saying, and it's awesome that Gab has a kid.
It's a long-term investment, you know. First I start to show him some video games, then I introduce him to my channel, and then he becomes my video editor, and then it's free labor, you know. That's how I get it.
That's smart. Create your own editor.
Yeah, it's literally optimal.
I think there's laws in the U.S. that prevent that, I'm pretty sure.
Good thing I'm in Canada.
So you're fine.
Hey.
I'm outside of jurisdictions. I can have child labor.
Hey, honey, I'm thinking of moving up to Canada.
Yeah. Why? That's really spontaneous.
I don't know. Just feel like a good spot, like poutine.
Yeah, I like the cold always. Yeah. Plus the channel's booming, and you know.
Can need the extra help. Yeah.
When you brought up Baby Gigi seeing your channel, it just made me think spontaneously. I know we're asking how our years went, but I just like tangent. How do you guys ever feel about introducing your channel to people who aren't really into the whole YouTube thing, or family members? Do you ever notice a shift in how people interact with you when they like see your videos? Like, I imagine, like, if you're going to meet somebody new who you never talked to and they're like, yeah, I make YouTube videos, and they ask for your channel, like basic, you know, social conversation, and then they see what you do, you're just like, oh man, you'll never see me the same way now. Like, you know what I mean? Do you guys ever deal with that?
Yeah, it's like, it's weird. Okay, so when you're not like, when you don't have an audience and you're like a smaller YouTuber and you're not making any money, people judge you very, very hard, and they make fun of you, and they think it's very silly, and they think you're cringe, and they basically make you feel really, really bad for doing it. And then the audience comes and the money, and they're like, wow, you make YouTube videos? This is your job? That's really cool. I should do that. I should quit my job to do this.
Oh yeah.
You make that much playing video games? Oh, I'm in the wrong career path.
Oh my god, I hate it.
I actually change attitude when people tell me that. You know, at first I was like, oh, well, you never know, you might. And now I'm like, do it, coward.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Job, do it. What are you waiting, you stupid?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, oh, if you think it's that easy, then give it a shot.
Yeah.
Do it. Trust me, you won't last a second.
Yeah, quit
Resignation
your 9 to 5
notice tomorrow. Yeah.
Send your 2 weeks in right now. Start making gaming videos.
If you last longer than a week, I'll quit my channel.
Yeah, and start working at your job.
Yeah, you know, I'll speed this up. I'll call up your boss right now, and we'll see how fast we can make this happen. You said you want to do it.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Like, I remember my family used to be very kind of like they weren't judgmental, but they were like super not interested in it and super not like. I had a couple of like comments here and there that were like, haha, he makes silly YouTube videos, and now that it's my job and I make money and there is like viability to it. They're like, so what's your next video? When are you streaming next?
Yeah, suddenly you're interested.
Yeah, exactly. Suddenly I'm an interesting individual, and I'm like, I feel a little weird talking about this.
Yeah.
I
make silly videos for money. You look silly for free.
I
get paid to be an idiot.
Well, if I ever become a millionaire for YouTube, though, I feel like I will absolutely just tell people that. I will tell people that I have just so much money. I will make them feel bad for how much money they don't have.
Yeah.
So that they stop talking to me about it.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, I've got like $1 million in the bank, and they're like, "What? From playing video games?" I'm like, yeah. Yeah, you'll probably never get that. It's fine, man.
You'll probably never get that. Just some fucking little kid who's like, "Hi, Virus, I love your videos. I can't believe you make all this money."
If it's a little,
fucking keep dreaming.
If it's a little kid, it's fine. If it's someone, because if we're being real, dude, the question always comes up of, so how much money do you make? And I'm like,
always.
It always comes up, and I'm like, dude, do you realize that's like. Unless you're like a YouTuber, because obviously YouTubers talk about how much they make because it's like that's intrinsically interesting because we all make different amounts. But like from someone that's outside just looking in, not taking any interest in like the kind of videos you make, what you do outside of that, they're just like, so yeah, so how much money are we talking? How much money are you making off of that their YouTube channel? I'm like, dude, leave me alone. Go away.
The perfect way to normalize this is to reverse that. Like, answer it and then reverse it. Like, say a ludicrous number. You know, for me, a ludicrous number would be like they're like, oh, how much do you make off of these videos? It'd be like $500,000 a year. How much do you make? Just to see how they feel about it.
Like,
if it's not more, then you.
That's what I'm saying. If I ever become a millionaire for YouTube, I want to make them feel bad about making me uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, well, yeah, I just made like a couple million this year, and they're like,
yeah.
So how much do you make, huh? Your office job at 7-Eleven. What's up with that?
Yeah.
Your office job at 7-Eleven.
You gotta spin it just. Very still like vague, but so cocky. Like, yeah, I just made it up to 7 figures. Like, you know,
Yeah,
I was
recently.
like, it was I was grinding away with only 6 figures for so long.
And then
I it took a
finally
while.
broke to 7 figures. I'm
Yeah.
kind of proud of
Yeah.
myself. How many figures you making?
You just gotta keep on adding like slight details. Like, yeah, it took like 3 years of hard grinding, but finally 7 figures was was able to land
Making
it.
6
Anyway,
figures
so
for like 4 years. It was kind of rough.
Yeah.
But then, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
it took a lot of
that's
work.
that quick play.
It took a lot of work.
Okay.
I downloaded a lot of Nintendo mods, but I finally opened up a $13 million business.
I played so much on my Switch in the last 4 years. It was awful.
Yeah.
It was awful. God, poor me. But price to pay.
And I felt so bad only paying my employees 5 figures. Oh my god!
Just
Like,
suddenly just adding more and more. To it.
yeah.
right.
Like
Oh,
my
man.
LLC is doing well, but I wish it could do better. I'm thinking about giving myself a raise.
See, the sad part about this is there are so many YouTubers who are like, this is when YouTubers meet other YouTubers. I feel like these are real conversations that happen at like conventions and shit. Like, oh, so how much are you making off the videos? Oh, $20 billion off my latest upload.
Yeah, but see, it's like
you know.
it's not weird
10 out of
when you
10.
talk to other YouTubers about it. Like, I feel
That's
like
true.
it's more. I feel more. Like, I talk about how much I make, but only to like you guys because it's like way more comfortable, and I feel like I'm not going to get judged for it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's always some air of like judgment that you're making money on the internet playing video games. You know what I mean? Especially
Yeah,
if the number is like higher than normal. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's not weaved into society nowadays as much. Although I should say, I don't know, when I went to not necessarily just with money, but just like with making videos and having a channel, whatever. When I started out, I would never tell anybody what I did. I would just be like, yeah, I'm like a video editor or whatever. And I had 20, 30,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
It was like, I wasn't too. But I remember I was buying this phone, and I went to the T-Mobile store in the mall, and the dude at the T-Mobile store was talking about whatever, and, you know, eventually, because I'm transferring phones and transferring payment plans, he's asking me about what I do, whatever, while I'm filling out forms, like, yeah, I'm a YouTuber or whatever, and he's like, oh, a YouTuber, like, that's really cool, like, I saw somebody in here recently, I had another friend who's, like, a YouTuber, and he came in, and he's got, like, 60-something thousand subscribers, and it's like really cool, man. Like, he's really famous and popular. And I was like, oh, that's awesome, that's nice. And he's like, so how many subscribers do you have? And I was like, well, we recently just passed 250,000. And he was like, so it's making its way into being normalized in society where
that's
people
the thing,
respect it as a legitimate thing
It's
nowadays.
respected because you have 250,000 subs.
Maybe
If you were like,
that's-
yeah, I've got like 200, they'd be like, cool, man. Anyway,
keep dreaming, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like this is one of the only jobs where it's like that, where like you really do start from zero and work by single digits going up and up.
Yeah,
so
'cause, like,
you don't even really make money till you're past like 10 or 20K,
'cause, like,
even then.
intrinsically, our job is very cringe. Just like, like from the outside looking in, it's very, very cringe. If you're, when
I
you're
love that
starting off
descriptor.
talking to yourself in front of like nobody, like just to a camera, to like basically 10 people, maybe even less, like to 0 people, you have 0 subscribers, you're getting like maybe 3 views a video. From the outside looking in, you're cringe. You're cringe. Everyone's
I am
like,
cringe, but I'm free virus.
Yeah, I'm not judging you. I do this for a living. But I'm saying the world doesn't understand us, Gab. They only understand us when there's more people that make us not cringe. Because when there's like an audience there, they're like, okay, well, there's other people watching, so I guess it's okay to watch this person. Do you know what I mean?
No, absolutely. There's a weird psychology behind it, 100%.
Yeah. Because like, I've heard countless stories of people that are like embarrassed to talk about their YouTube channels when they're smaller, and I know people that have like millions of subs that don't really talk about their YouTube channels outside of like circles. Like, one of my friends will just say that they do radio whenever someone asks at like the airport what they do, because, you know, it's easy to be like, yeah, no, I'm a YouTuber. And then they're like, oh, you're a YouTuber. What kind of YouTube videos do you make? And, you know, there's a whole conversation. Sometimes people can be weird about it. Sometimes they can be good. Like, you know, the phone guy. But yeah.
Definitely the easiest one is like comparing it to radio or TV.
Mhm.
Like whenever I'm in an Uber ride and when it comes up for whatever reason, I'm like, oh yeah, I pretty much do like a radio show, but like online.
Yeah.
And it's just like, they're like, oh, okay, got it. And then it was silent for the next 5 minutes, 5 stars.
I've definitely like, sometimes I don't talk, sometimes I like lie about what I do. I'll say like, oh, I either blanket it and I say I make videos on it for the internet, but like, I don't say like, oh, I'm a YouTuber. Sometimes I'll be like, I do radio. I've said that before. Or I do like a podcast before the podcast. But saying I do a podcast just sounds so much more easier to digest, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a lot more understandable to anybody pre the YouTube era. It's like, oh, a podcast, I get it.
Yeah,
good for
precisely, because it's just a radio show. Because like people do podcasts on the radio, so
yeah, exactly.
But there have been a couple instances where I'll just say, yeah, no, I make YouTube videos, and they're like, oh, what do you do? And like, I've had some I know I've like talked negatively about talking about like the profession to other people, but I have had like some good conversations with like strangers just about like making YouTube videos and like what I do and like who I do it with and stuff like that. Like I guess it's really situational on if I feel comfortable enough with the person, and if I feel like, because I feel like I can get a read, like a vibe off of someone.
Absolutely.
By like talking to them for like 5 seconds. And if I feel uncomfortable, I will just kind of not be as descriptive. But if I feel like, okay, no, this guy seems like they'd be okay with it, I can be like, okay, yeah, I make YouTube videos. I have like 80,000 subs. I do this, that. And then like, oh, shit, that's really cool.
Yeah. And I often find that when you have those good conversations with somebody about YouTube, it can be like the most validating thing to talk to somebody about it who is genuinely interested, like somebody who sees it as a respectable actual job and they like what you do and they're like, man, how do you do this and that? Like, I could talk about YouTube to anybody for 5 hours straight, but only if they're willing to listen. And like you said, you can get a read pretty quick on if somebody is like, oh, you're a YouTuber? No way, what kind of videos do you do? Like, my son loves those kinds of videos, blah blah blah. And then it's like, yeah. Or if someone's just like, oh, YouTuber, cool. So anyway, do you want ketchup on that or what? Like, did you get a read on
telling your guy, the guy that's taking your order at Wendy's that you're a YouTuber?
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. I'll give you my business credit card with my YouTube name on it, and we'll get rolling with that. But yeah, no, it is a very validating thing, like seeing somebody, just a stranger, genuinely interested in what we do, and not in like a weird like, oh, you make YouTube videos, you're a god. Like, they're not like fan praising you, they're just like, wow, what you do is really cool, and I know people who are interested in that.
I feel like,
I don't know, that was
like what you said, it's become more become more normalized. There's still a bit of a weird stigma around it, like people thinking it's like, because like I remember when my parents like not figured out, but when I found out I did it like as a job,
they discovered it. You're a YouTuber.
You're Virus.
He hated you.
It was you.
I've been wondering who that was. It sounded so similar.
That you didn't tell us.
Yeah, I don't have a son anymore.
They're a fan of your videos and they never knew that it was you.
It's like fucking. It's like Spider-Man unmasking himself to Aunt May for the first time ever or something. She's like, it was you. I always knew it was you. But yeah, when I told my parents that I did it like as a job after I left my last like quote unquote real job, I had a point.
You were saying that it's become more normalized, and then
yeah. They like, so they didn't like get it, like they supported it, but they didn't quite understand like how I was making money or how it makes money at all, and like how like, and like when I went live and they'd see people donating, they're like, "Are you like doing something illegal? Why are people giving you money? What's happening here?" And I'm like, "I don't know. They just want to support." And I'm like, "Yeah, but like, why are they giving you money?" And I'm like, "I wish I could tell you."
yeah, your guess is as good as mine.
Apparently, like it's become more and more like the job that most kids kind of want to do when they grow up.
Yeah.
Like, like most kids
nowadays.
that are like yeah, maybe it's shifted a bit more from YouTube to like TikTok now, but
A little bit.
like
the
kids that
influencer job.
yeah, kids that used to want to be like, I don't know, like firefighters and astronauts now want to be like influencers and YouTubers and like
God, our future is
TikTokers stuff.
fucked, man.
Yeah, we've ruined it. We've really ruined the.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
We
It's
have
our fault, ladies and gentlemen.
we have ruined the up and coming generations. We're no longer gonna have any firefighters, no police officers, no fucking anyone.
Veterinarians, no house builders. They're all building
They're
audiences.
all gonna be influencers.
But we're gonna have some banger videos on Twitter.
Oh yeah. Oh sure, they sure will.
You can throw a lot at the wall.
So my house is on fire and nobody's coming to help it. But look at that video, man.
yeah, his video's on fire.
This
Oh,
is gonna go viral. Yeah.
Yeah. At least
number
film
48
it.
on trending.
Yeah.
I
at
have
least film
nowhere to
it, Gab.
live, but with the ad revenue, maybe I will.
Yeah, exactly. I'm kind of glad you brought up families and their kind of attachment to it, because one of the things that has stuck with me a lot in recent years is when we were at Gab's wedding 3 years ago now, something like that. Holy shit.
Ugh. 3 years.
I know, it's
dude,
gross.
That's fucking gross.
I know. But when we were there, Gab, I don't remember exactly who it was. One of your relatives came up to us three standing here, and he goes, are you guys the YouTubers? And when people ask that, I get stressed, especially back then. And then we were like, yeah, that's us. And then he goes, you guys are awesome.
Yeah. So cool.
I wanted to ask, like, what your family thought about, just generally about you being a YouTuber,
like-
and then bringing us, the YouTubers, to your wedding and all the other stuff. I'm curious about it. 'Cause I don't know if we ever talked
Slight
about
tangent from the wedding. I just remember feeling like the coolest fucking guy because so many people were like, "Are you the guy that came all the way from the UK?" And I'm like, "That's me. I'm that guy." Like, wow, you're incredible. And I'm like, I know.
that. Yeah, we imported
Go on,
him.
please.
He's nice and our foreign imported friend here. Yeah, but Gabba, I'm just curious how your family like saw you doing YouTube and then bringing your weird ass YouTuber friends to your wedding.
I think my family was always, okay with it and very supportive. But the big thing that was a problem with them is that the lack of clear milestones, like as in when I think of another like funny job or art job or stuff like that, like a stand-up comedy, that at some point there's like some clear milestone that that's your main job. You're making enough
Like-
money to do it.
Yeah, like a promotion almost.
Yeah.
almost
In
like, for
title.
example, if you're like a stand-up comic and you do late night, you just do bars, you know that you need a day job, you're not making enough. But if you're at a point that you're doing the first part of a show of a big guy, you're kind of, okay, you can start making it. And if you have your own one-man show, then definitely, you're living the life. But when it comes to YouTube, except from the subscriber count, and even there, it's not always the same for everyone. Sometimes someone has a big count but can't make a living, and someone has barely any but with like ads and stuff like that, he can make it. So it's so different for each YouTuber that my parents were like, "How's money?" And I was like, it's a good month. And of course,
Yeah.
I kind of like that. In my family, I got that question asked mostly in December, so it was mostly for the perfect month's ad. So it was like, oh yeah, I'm making bank, baby. Just don't ask me about it in January or February.
High CPM month.
I'm a garbage man when it comes to that month.
I think the only thing outside of subscribers that used to be like that was like getting partnered or getting a network. Now, of course, it's not the same thing, but being able to say back in the day, like, oh yeah, I'm a YouTube partner. Look at me, I have at least 20,000 subscribers and 200 videos.
Things have changed. Being a partner is
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to be out like I don't want to say being a partner is nothing because obviously from our perspective,
lot easier.
yeah. From our perspective, it's a lot easier. But like, obviously, people still got to grind to get like the 1,000 subs and like the 4,000 watch hours. But like, just hearing it be an achievement that you would like, proudly wear is like insane to me.
I got rejected 3 times. Because they
What were
give
the
you
old
like
requirements for it?
I don't believe they gave you any. I think they were like, you know, I think it was just like apply for YouTube partnership.
Wait, was it? Was
Just-
this
that's
before? Like, because I know YouTube never used to actually offer their own partnership. It used to be like through MCNs and stuff.
Yes,
Like,
they.
you're
right, you're right.
Yeah, you used to be able to not monetize your stuff through YouTube at all. It used to have to. That's why you got a network back in the day.
Yes, I believe there was. I could. God, it's been literally 10 years. I believe there was a way you could go through YouTube itself. Because I remember there was some official YouTube partnership. Maybe that was added a little bit later. And maybe my rejections were just from a MCN. But I thought I would have to be fact checked because I remember there was some YouTube partnership that was the one to go to. No, because I definitely
Was
went
it Curse?
through-
Was it Curse Network or?
No. It was.
I feel like
it
it's
was
talking about
YouTube.
like
It was
Maker Studios and like Polaris and stuff. Because that was the one that all
No.
like the big guys were on, like, you know, like Markiplier, Game Grumps.
Yeah,
a
no,
bunch of
because
others.
I don't believe I've also ever been partnered by YouTube itself. So I'm like, I'm having like conflicting memories. I just remember being partnered, whether that be through YouTube or an MCN, whichever memory is correct here. Like that was like the oh, you're partnered.
Oh,
We straightened up my tie a little bit. I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was talking to a YouTuber. like that was like
I just
Hey,
dropped my
partner.
partner status on the
Yeah,
ground.
that's what it was.
Silly me.
like that was like early verification in a sense. Like if you were partnered, you were the shit TM.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it was the stuff. So yeah. That's what I remember. And you know, you're right. That also doesn't really carry over as much if you told someone like, oh yeah, I'm a partnered YouTuber. Like, okay. So what's a YouTuber? I don't know. I don't know
Sir,
the
this
first
is a
step in
Wendy's.
this. So.
I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, I back on the thing though of our last years. Because I guess since we've talked a lot about YouTube, that's pretty relevant to this.
Is it last years or last year as in the
Last
last
year.
like 5 months? Yeah.
Like, what's the most biggest thing that happened to you in the last like half a year, wherever wherever you want to take it?
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. This last year has been a very difficult one for me. I guess in personal life and a lot of other aspects, and with the channel growing a lot. But I have to say there have been a lot of excellent things like PAX East happening. Too Many Games is coming up. That's going to be super dope. We know Splatoon 3 is coming. I mean, you know, I guess for me, content creation is like 110% of my life. So it all kind of revolves around that, you know. Mouthfuls has been rolling. There's just been a lot of stuff that's been happening, and I've new editors for J Deluxe and all these other things. So I don't know. It's hard to pinpoint one thing that's like the biggest thing that has happened in the last couple months or so. But I don't know. I guess just losing motivation and kind of burning out and having to take that hiatus that I took this last month of the time of this being recorded. And then coming back and like refinding and rekindling my passion for making videos and coming back to it and going with an entirely different approach showed me how fragile this job can be, how easy it can be to give it up and lose it, how hard it is to maintain it, and how much of a challenge it is you have to accept. And I finally like am ready to accept that challenge again. I hope that sticks with me for a long time.
Yeah.
That
Hell
for
yeah,
me
man.
is the biggest thing.
Snaps.
Last year. Yeah, golf claps, yes. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Hayden, take it away.
So, like, I feel like our like last 5 months or so, this year have been kind of in like a similar vein in what you said about like the burnout and the loss of passion and then trying to rekindle it. Because like I went through like December was kind of bad for me. There's a couple things that happened. I also like broke up with Snowy, like my ex-girlfriend. We're still like best friends and stuff, so like there's no bad blood or anything. But like I feel like that was like a catalyst for me to try and like reel myself back a bit and try and focus on everything I wasn't happy about with like how things were about my life. Because there was a lot, like I've got like a lot of stuff going on, and I wanted to spend like this year in particular just kind of focusing on me and letting everything else take a backseat, which was a hard thing to do.
That's fucking hard.
Because putting yourself first when you have such a fragile job like YouTube, where things are constantly evolving. You have the algorithm. You have where 1 minute you can be getting hundreds of thousands of views, the next you could be getting like 100 views. It's hard to like make that cool where you're like, okay, I'm taking a risk here, but it's for my own good and it's more important. Prioritizing, I think, is is an important thing I've like tried to learn to do this year. Because it's difficult, because I find it very difficult to prioritize things accordingly. It's like I will put something here, but then I'll put like everything else on the same level, if that makes sense. Like I'll be like, okay, I want to try and figure out my mental health, but then I also want to upload like 2 videos a week, but then I also want to socialize with all of my friends, and
can't do all those at the same time.
Exactly. And I don't want to feel incredible FOMO by not socializing with my friends. I also want to make sure I get videos out of the newest releases, but then I also want to make sure I have time to like eat and sleep and like look after myself. And usually, like, I feel like not everyone, but I feel like people can at least somewhat prioritize things accordingly. Like they'll be like, okay, right, so I need to look after myself first and foremost. Then I need to get this video out. Then I need to do this, that, and the other. But for me, for the longest time, everything was on an equal plane, and it meant that I would freeze up and do none of it. I would I would either that or I would do one. I would put all of my time into one thing and then get anxious about the other thing. So, this last like 6 months since the breakup, especially, I've just kind of been trying to really hone in on how to undo all of that, like how to make it so that I, can wake up and feel like I have priorities, feel like I have things that I can do, like, instead of, like the existential dread of having so much to do and doing none of it. And it's like, oddly, it sounds like a Herculean task to try and like lay all of that out and like figure it out, but I feel like I'm getting there. It's still a work in progress. Absolutely still a work in progress. Like I said to myself, I don't want to travel really this year. I've done a little bit of traveling, but it's been in the country. But I've said I'd rather like, focus on losing weight, focus on getting my mental health a bit more in check, focus on getting my YouTube channel in check, like, get the important things out of the way so that I can then spend more time with the people I care about, instead of spending time with the people I care about while also worrying about everything else. If that makes sense. Like I wanted to go to PAX, for example, and I very nearly did, but then I was like, I wouldn't have a good time. As much as it would be great to see my friends, like I haven't seen you guys in like 3 years. Yeah, 3 years.
Been a while. Really?
The wedding. 2019.
The wedding was the last time I saw you guys.
Oh my god.
Like it would have been really nice to see you guys, but I would know what I'm like. I know at the back of my head, I would be like, man, I haven't uploaded a video in like 3 weeks. Man, I haven't done this, that, or the other. And I just kind of want to make sure I get things under control before so that I can enjoy the time like that without worrying about it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because absolutely.
Because like, spending time with people you love is important. I don't want to like spend it freaking out about other stuff in the background.
Yeah, no, you would not have a good time at all knowing that like you have other priorities. Because I agree, and it's like what you said about how prioritizing yourself is remarkably difficult, and I do think a lot of people actually also struggle with that, because especially with YouTube and a lot of other jobs, it's all goal oriented, it's all grind oriented. You got to be doing this all the time, whatever. And I say to everybody, I've said to you plenty of times, I say to a lot of people who are doing YouTube and then experience burnouts, including myself, it's almost like trying to build a house on like mud. If you don't have a strong foundation, which is yourself, and you have a good sleep schedule, a good work schedule, good self-discipline, the ability to know when you need to take breaks, the ability to know when you're feeling motivated and to strike the iron while it's hot, and then rest and go out and socialize and live your life, balancing all those things, prioritizing yourself. You are the foundation of everything that you build. So if your foundation is muddy and shitty and whatever, you're gonna build a house that's gonna crash or it's gonna sink, whatever else. You can't build anything unless you yourself are concrete. And so that's why I took my hiatus, and why what you said your goal is for this year is like, there are more things that are more important. Those videos, the viewers, they'll be out there. There will be people that will still be waiting to see it. But there will be no good videos if you don't take care of yourself. And I think that's great advice that not a lot of people get with YouTube, because when you're like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber, and you ask a YouTuber, what advice do you want? They'll say, work really hard, do this, upload consistently, you got to be on that grind, you got to be making these videos, make videos people want to see. And there's plenty of good advice on what you should do, but I think that especially if you're a one-man operation like most of us are, it's really hard. It's really hard to just do that. Like, you have to prioritize yourself above all other things. So yeah, that's an absolute preach that everybody should follow, I think. So I'm with you on that one.
I've been feeling the decision paralysis real hard. Like, I know we've talked about it in the past, but like, oh my goodness, having everything feel of an equal importance and so nothing happens, or like it just stews, is something I know I've talked about it probably in one of the earlier episodes, but it is truly something that claws away at me. For a while, I whenever I would get into like a negative mental spiral over YouTube, or you know, whatever else things are going on, but you know, I'll say for the sake of example, YouTube. One of the things that I would help to like sort of dig out that mental spiral was the million grind. Was the like, okay, want to hit 1 million before PAX East? Let's go, baby, woo! And I'd be able to like sort of talk myself kind of out of that spiral, and it wouldn't last for as long. But recently, I've, you know, that probably my y'all's segue here. My biggest thing of the year was hitting that 1 million, and huge. You know, of course, pretty much one of the biggest milestones, especially coming off the 10-year anniversary as well. Both of the things that I had been grinding for so long had finally happened, and so once I hit that mental spiral again, I was like, wow. Well, now there's also like the thing I had been chasing for so long has finally been achieved. What?
Right. Now what?
Oh yeah, a little bit of a now what? And I've been doing better. I've been doing better with things. I've learned a little bit about myself, and I've recognized that procrastination is just, I can never fight against it. Yep. I have finally hit the point of acceptance. For me, procrastination is the great motivator, the great fire under my ass whenever I have no fire. And I just work so fluently under it. So I'm like, okay, how can I weaponize procrastination in my brain? How can I turn like, oh, I'm not like working Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday sometimes doesn't like click with me, because I'm like, oh, that's like preemptive work for a weekend video. So I'm like, wait, what if I set other goals earlier in the week that like are upheld by another person, so that way if I am procrastinating, I'm working on the very deadline of those goals, which are still earlier in the week for a greater thing later on. I'm trying to find ways to wrap my head around it, but I'm making progress. I'm feeling good. I think this has been a good year. It's been a good year overall.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's the crazy thing about what we do, is it is really like, you have to figure out some way to live and also make content and be your own boss and blah blah blah, and that's can be really daunting, confusing a lot. And I think maybe that's why a lot of people get overwhelmed or give up with this job, is because it's like, well shoot, I don't know how to maintain my regular life and do whatever, but there's absolutely ways to do it. It's different for everybody, so there's like no one golden rule that's like, oh, work on this day to this day to figure this out. Like, there's no real training or structure or meta, so to speak, for relaxing and making videos at the same time. It's a difficult thing, but makes it worth it. Makes it very worth it when you get stuff out there and you're doing good and hitting 1 million subscribers like Failboat has. Which, we're all on our way up there, so just hang out a little longer.
What I think a lot of new YouTubers have, and I mean even old YouTubers, is, as Fires mentioned, the fear of missing out. And I think I really experienced it heavily when, like, after a few months that I had baby Gigi, you know, I came back from the hospital, everything's fine, but I'm not working at all on the channel, and I'm getting back into the gamer life, you know. I'm starting to get a little bit of time here and there, and I see all these games coming out. I think it was Metroid Dread, Splatoon 3 coming soon and all that, and I'm like, I can't jump in, and I'm gonna miss all of that. And it's kind of a mix that it's true that you're gonna miss these opportunities, but in YouTube, and I think that's one of the beautiful things, there's just so many opportunities that keep coming, and it's not about picking all of them, but picking the right ones for you.
Yeah.
Because at some point, even me, I realized that, like, I tried, like, I can't remember which game. I was like, oh, you know, I gotta jump on that bandwagon. And after doing it, I was like, yeah, I did it, and it's cool, but I just stressed myself for absolutely nothing, and now there's almost not much. So, yes, I did miss out, but maybe I should have missed it out. It's the fear is sometimes a bit too big. You were exaggerating it.
I remember I you know, day one Fire Emblem video. I'm like, this will be one of those things I don't want to miss out on. Video like super underperformed. Then Among Us came out, and I'm like, not for me. I'll sit out of this one.
Yeah.
you know.
Talk about Among Us, bro. I had
sometimes you pick the wrong ones.
Many fucking dude, I had so much good content recorded on Among Us, and I just didn't release any of it. I still got it on my hard drive. I have, like, I want to say like 50 games of Among Us, all banger
Jesus
content.
Christ.
Like, just
crap.
I mean, Among Us was like relevant for like 6 months.
That's
and I
true.
played it with a group
long
of people for like
time.
6 months.
Like every day.
Yeah. We were playing it every night because it was just a thing we did. And it's like actually what forged one of my regular friendship groups that I hang out in now. And I didn't release fucking any of it. Probably would have banged. I saw so many of my friends releasing videos I was in because I was in no sessions. Like Captain Kid and All Tribe. They like got super big videos out of all these sessions. I'm like, why did I not do that?
Why did I sit on it?
Yeah.
Hey, you should give yourself some credit. You did upload at least 2 very good videos on Among Us, so you know.
One.
That is true.
Oh, there was two. There was two
of them up there. Yeah. That's something. That's something to be proud of. Hey, we count our W's here.
That is true. Small victories are still a victory.
Exactly.
Although I gotta say, 6 months in the YouTube algorithm and, you know, biosphere is a incredibly long time.
That's what I'm saying. Among Us was relevant on YouTube for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
It was kind of crazy.
I mean, Fall Guy and The Contrary was like relevant for a week,
a month.
and then people were like, Fall Man? Oh yeah, I don't like that. You know?
It had like a little bit of relevancy, but it like tapered off very quickly because Among Us popped off at the same time, which is kind of unfortunate.
Yeah. It's competitive for competing for people's time and entertainment. Which is how it be. But yeah, I feel that too. Although, you know, again, giving yourself credit, Animal Crossing came out. You released some of your best videos are Animal Crossing videos, so you know. It's hard chasing these things, dude. It's really hard chasing these trends down and making content on it.
You're like my comment section, right? You're saying like the positive stuff. You're giving me the positive reinforcement. But
I was almost very insulted by that.
But like you're like the good part of my comment section. Okay. But like my brain is the bad part of the comment section where you're telling me, oh, you like Animal Crossing came along and you did really well and you released some of your biggest videos, and I'm like, I could release more of them.
Yeah.
Because that was like the first like real burnout I had. Actually, I think I'm not sure if I spoke to you guys about this. It was the Crazy Red update for Animal Crossing that introduced, you know, Crazy Red and Leaf, the little like sloth guy that gave you plants.
Oh yeah.
I streamed it day one. I had like 800 viewers. It was fucking great. I was like, okay, this is gonna make a banger video. My commentary was on fire. This is gonna be awesome. It's gonna probably get 100,000 views. and I just sat on it. I started editing it, but I hit a wall. And I didn't know. I just didn't know what to do. I was looking at I would open up my my Vegas timeline every single day, and I would just stare at it and be like, like my brain felt like it was fried. It felt like it was like fucking cooking like an egg. I just didn't know what to do. I was like, why am I not? It was weird because it's like when you feel burnout, it's like I would stare at my timeline. And I would question why I'm not doing it. But like, it's not like, oh, okay, that's why I'm not doing it. Now you start doing it. It's just you kind of stare at it for hours, and then you find other things to distract you because you're like not doing it. Like you'll refresh Twitter or you'll go on YouTube or Twitch or something and just watch stuff. Me recently been watching a fuck ton of One Piece because of that, but it was weird, dude, because that snowballed into me just like not making any more Animal Crossing videos because I hit that wall. I did make some after and they still did okay, but once I missed that first update and then I missed the second one and then the third one and then I came back and did like the I think it was Learning to Swim in Animal Crossing New Horizons, which did pretty good. It had like, it's got like 60,000.
Yeah, I remember that one.
But like, that mentally I was like, oh, I've fallen off. That's it for me. I've done. I spent too long. I had my chance. I had my small window in the algorithm, my golden ticket that not many YouTubers get afforded, and I blew it. And that like sat in my head because I was like, now I just don't want to do it. which I've come to realize obviously is a really dumb mentality with YouTube. If because everyone's gonna fall off the horse multiple times throughout their journey on YouTube. They're gonna if you get into the algorithm, that's awesome, and then you're gonna fall out of the algorithm probably at some point, and your views will go down because that's the thing that no one ever prepares you for when it comes to YouTube. You're gonna have that. It's gonna feel awesome when you're getting like so many views, you're getting that high, constant like drip feed of subscribers every day, and then it stops. It's gonna, because inevitably it's gonna slow down, and no one prepares you for that. And that is, I think, the first time when it happens, it feels bad. It feels really bad, and then you come to learn that it's something that kind of keeps me going. I mean, I can't speak as if I'm uploading every week. I'm still working on that, but like every video is an opportunity for that to be sparked off again. Every video is an opportunity for the algorithm to kick in, like, and that is what you kind of have to just go with to keep you going. Because if you worry about the algorithm no longer favoring your videos, or the algorithm, or like, you know, because there's so many YouTubers that will blame the algorithm for them not doing well, when really it's just you not adapting to what's working.
Well, I also think there's like a therapeutic part at some point, you know, when everything's not working, you're just like, I just gotta, you know, vent out a little. So stupid algorithm, I'll get you next time. And then
I get it. Of course, like there is like it's cathartic to, you know, have something else to blame that's not yourself. But I think it's important to realize that especially with something as with something like YouTube, it's every video is a chance to get back in, because I've seen, I think what made me realize that was watching everyone else, like, because I was so absorbed in my own thing when Animal Crossing was happening, when I was like, you know, I was doing well and my friends were talking about me. I remember going to fucking Jay's stream and he was like talking about, like, he was just talking about stuff. He was talking about his like recent Andy or something. And then he mentioned my video. He didn't know I was there, but he was like, yeah, no, did you guys see like Virus's last video? It's got like 100,000 views. What the fuck? It's popping up. And I was like,
you were there for that?
Yes, I was there for that. I was like, and I was just like, shit.
You gotta be careful what I say on my stream about you, and I don't know if you're there or not.
Yeah. I was just like lurking, and I think what took me out of that and made me realize that every video is an opportunity is watching like people like Dan, and watching people like Jay, and watching people like Gab, everyone everyone that I'm like interested in, like this was like 2 years ago, I think. It's like you see, because you see them pop off, and that's what you pay attention to, right? You pay attention to the big videos, like the videos that get like 1 million views or like 700,000, 500,000, the big hitters. But then you look at people's views, and everyone has their lulls. Everyone has like the dip in viewership. Like they'll have like a video that has like 200,000 after a 700,000 video, and then they'll have a video that has like 100,000, then they'll have another video that gets 500,000, and that's like that's like what made me realize that it's not all doom and gloom as long as you keep your head in the game, because and that was so important for me to like not give up on any of this, was seeing everyone else goes through dips in viewership and, you know, like I said, lulls in viewership where stuff isn't as good as it used to be, but they're still chugging, they're still making stuff, and then eventually it does pick up again. It's you ride the wave. It's never like a linear line upwards.
Yep.
Yeah.
You put that all perfectly.
Yeah. Because I remember struggling with it for a while, because, you know, that was like the first time I'd had like a really big algorithmic spike. And I remember I said to Dan, I was like, dude, I fucked up. And he was like, dude, just keep making stuff. It'll happen again. And I'm like, you're just saying that. And he was like, no. and he literally was like, well, dude, like I thought like before the Switch came out, like my channel was like not going anywhere, and then the Switch came out, and then boom, that went off. Because I looked at your channel after that, and I was like, oh shit, no, yeah, things like your views weren't like super crazy before the Switch came out, and then the Switch came out, and that like catapulted you into the stratosphere.
Oh, yeah. Specifically Mario Odyssey. That was
yeah, exactly. And I was like, damn, maybe he's onto something, you know. Maybe he's 10 years of YouTube has taught him a thing or two.
I was gonna say Gab put it really well, where like YouTube does keep putting. I will say there are a lot of opportunities on YouTube. There are a lot of opportunities. It is about like the ones that you pick. Like there is always another shot. It's just about how are you doing it? How prepared are you for it? And what do you bring to the table?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Roundabout though. Thank you for saying that my Animal Crossing videos were good.
They were.
It took such a negative turn from that, but like I do appreciate that. They are my crowning achievement at this point.
Well, go ahead again.
Oh, I was just gonna say that. I think one of the things with Fire talking about the high of his Animal Crossing video and riding the algorithm, when you're at the peak, I think there's a point where it becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because you're kind of afraid to lose that hype, to lose that wave, because you're like, how long do I still have in it? And you start making your videos constricting yourself because you want to get that views. You don't want to go down. You don't want the dip. And ultimately, that's mostly what brings the dip, because he becomes so like in clay, like it doesn't move anymore. It's just like a copy of what you did. And then people are like, yeah, it's good.
I've seen this already.
Yeah, it's more of the same, and it's not even as fresh or as good or as creative. So they're like, and then the dips begin, and you're like, no.
Something I remember very vividly from that whole Animal Crossing spike on my channel, it for some reason it stuck with me. It resonated a lot. Is I raided Vian when he was playing Animal Crossing at the time he was streaming, and he was like welcoming people in. And then he like congratulated me on the recent growth. But then he said something that like kind of, I don't know, it like took me out for a second. It like stuck with me. It was like, by the way, Fires, if you ever need to talk, like it's like my DMs are open. I know how hard it is when to cope with like sudden growth like this. And I know how like mentally it can be a lot, and it can be it can be a lot to keep up with, and I'm just here for you if you need someone for that. And I was like, I was like, fuck.
Nah.
He gets it. But like,
I remember that.
Like, it was just, I don't know. Because I know, obviously I know you guys have all been through the same thing, but like hearing him say that, I was like, shit, dude, I'm not alone in this. Like other people have like no, because like it. What I mean is, it's easy to feel you're alone in like the mental struggles of growth, because everyone's like, oh, everyone chases after that big algorithmic goal. They chase after that big old growth spike, and they never think,
juicy.
yeah, exactly. And you never think that anyone like struggle. You never think anyone struggles with it, right? You never think no one struggle. You never think people struggle to keep up with it. But then he said that, and I was like, maybe people do struggle keeping up with growth sometimes. And that stuck with me, because I was like, and it just resonated hardcore. I was like, I needed to hear that. I really did. Even if I didn't reach out to him, I really did need to hear that.
Yeah. That I remember the way I was thinking when I heard that, because I was in that stream. I was watching that stream when that happened. And I remember you talking to me about it too, and saying exactly what you said about like, holy shit, like this is a real thing. But I remember my mindset at that time was like, what's he talking about? Like struggles with growth. Like this is what we want. Like this is great. And at the time, that was when I had the Andy series going, and it was like doing really, really good. That was when I was approaching the 100K and all that, and had passed it subsequently, and all this other stuff. And my channel was doing excellent at the time. And I had just been like, oh, what do you mean? Like struggles with growth? Like I feel great doing this. And then I had that recession of like, oh, now my videos are doing a little bit worse. And now there's more people here, and I need to figure out what I need to do. And Gab was right on the money with that thing where you constrict yourself to what you know works because you're scared to branch off and make a mistake. Everybody absolutely deals with that. But then that was when I hit all of that, and I was like, oh, this is what Vian was talking about. About like, oh, by the way, when you grow, there's going to be a lot of negative things that are going to come with it, and they catch up to you, I guess, at different rates. But you know, that's the reason that I had to take my hiatus anyway, was because of that.
I think it's that most new YouTubers prepare with the idea that failure is gonna happen, so they're ready for that. But no YouTubers think to themselves, well, I gotta prepare for success, because that's the thing. Failure is like a slap in the face. You can get ready to be slapped, and you're like, and you're like, okay, it's not so bad. But preparing for success is like preparing to go for a freaking space shuttle. If you don't have that astronaut training, you're gonna have a damn bad time. Yeah. And it takes a hell lot of training and mental preparation that, okay, things are going great. How do I keep this? And how do I just, you know, don't get actually washed away by it and just completely changed by my success?
Yeah. Very well put.
Yeah, it happens.
And not even just maintaining the growth and whatever and consisting it. I think a lot of just the things that come with it too. Like it's easy to get caught up in the thought that growing on YouTube just means you will get more money and you will get more numbers next to the view count of your videos and more comments and whatever else, and it's going to be great and things are going to do excellent. And you're going to get funny, rewarding, dopamine releasing analytics that make you feel good. But what comes along with that is a lot of people, a lot of attention, a lot of pressure, a lot of demand. You suddenly are now, you know, that you were getting 100 views and now suddenly there's 10,000 people watching that video. There's now 500 comments of people you've never met before looking and commenting about something that you made, that you did, and you were never used to even having that many people see your video. You know what I mean? And now you have that pressure. There's people who don't like what you do. They're gonna come in. Next time you go live, there's gonna be 100 people, and then there's gonna be people who say really weird shit. Christ knows we've all dealt with that and still do every time we go live.
It's a bad joke that they say online, but they say, you know, you've made it when you start getting death threats, but it's sad, but it's kind of true, you know?
Kind of is,
like,
yes, sir, dude.
I'm like, why is this true? Why is this true?
I'll be on guard with this. I fucking hate any kind of fame. I hate the amount that I have right now. I don't like it. I don't like the spotlight. I'm not a fan. Like, I'd rather, I like making videos, I like streaming, and I sometimes I even forget that people are watching the videos. I'm just like, cause I just want to make stuff, you know? I just want to make funny shit. And I feel like the fame and having all like the random people, like the random strangers on the internet invading your life and in like, you know, spectating what you're doing, not a fan of it. That's not to say that there aren't like incredible people in the audience, and I love my community that I've built, but if I could do this without the fame part, that'd be pretty neat.
Yeah,
just the videos and the money, you know.
Yeah, just the videos and being able to pay my rent. Just the videos and being able to pay my rent and groceries. That's all I need.
Yeah, that's all. A simple man. It's all a guy needs ultimately to survive. Men want one thing, and it's the ability to buy groceries. Come on, man, give us a break.
Oh, filthy!
It's disgusting, and it's shop
It's
right.
disgusting.
Oh.
It's just
Stop
like
and shop. Oh.
yeah, it's just the it's weird because like there are parts of it I do like there are parts of being quote unquote famous that I enjoy, and it's mostly like the community built stuff. Like seeing like the appreciation of something that you've done is probably one of the greatest goods that can come out of what we make here. Yeah. Like fan art is probably one of my favorite parts of the job, because there are some insanely talented people in like the communities that we build that draw us just because they like what we do. And that's like fucking insane to me. I remember in 2018, I made my first Splatoon video with Vian. And the day after, I woke up to a ping on Twitter with my first ever piece of fan art, and I showed everyone in my university house. I was like, dude, someone drew my my Splatoon character, and they were like, what the fuck? That's so cool. And ever since, I've gotten like so many like cool pieces of fan art from different individuals in the community. That's fucking cool. Meeting fans in person, that's also really like weird but really cool. Like I went to Scribble Showdown in London, and 2 people like recognized me and got photos, and I was like, you're a real guy. You're a real fella right there. A real person that sits at home and watches Virus videos. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I thought I was the only one.
But I think for me, the best part of the... Oh, no, were you about to say something else, Virus?
I was just going to say, just that kind of stuff. I like that kind of stuff because it makes me feel good. It's kind of a hit of dopamine, you know? It's a little bit of serotonin. Overall, the fame thing is not very cool, though. Go on, Sergio.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the best part of the fame is when you get those recurring viewers, you know, like the viewers, the fans that grow with you and your channel and that stick there, and then you just see their comments from here and there. They don't always comment, and they're just like, hey, I really like that one. And it's like a little pick-me-up, you know, like, oh, you're still there, you're still here, come on in, have some fun. I just made you a cup of coffee. Come on.
Yeah. See, like, those kind of viewers are the people that you end up, like, befriending down the line, I feel. Like, the very early supporters that clearly just stick with you, like, through thick and thin, like, you know, the people that even still watch you when your videos aren't popping off like crazy. Those are the kind of people that I'd want to take and, like, you know, buy them lunch one day or something, and just, you know, just have a chit chat. Yeah.
You know, I really appreciate that you open up about that, about how like fame is not, you know, fame is not awesome. All that. And honest to God, like I could not disagree with you more. I worship the ground I walk on. I love being idolized. There are absolutely zero drawbacks at all. I am a god. Do what I say. No, thank you, Dan. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah, right. No, I agree though. It's the sense of community that you get from videos is a really big bonus to doing what you love and then having it positively received by other people out there who it affects positively in one way or another. Because yeah, at the end of the day, we're just doing it because we love it and that it pays our rent and gets us groceries, right? But then when someone comes up to you and they say, hey, by the way, I love that video that you made about this and that, and it's like, holy shit, I love that video too. Why does someone else love it? This is a stupid thing that I did. What did you like about it? And then they're like, oh, it's really funny and this, that, and it, I don't know, it just is, it's a very strong validation to why, at least for me, why I even get up to do this every day, because it's like, well, it means something to somebody. So I need to keep doing it, obviously. And that's a good way to separate it from pressure of like, oh, I have to do this because I need to maintain whatever. It's just like, you know what? I make what I want and somebody out there will love it. So I'm going to keep doing that every day of my life until I die, and this will make me happy. You know, that's how it is.
I have a question for all of you, actually.
No, the answer is no. Go on.
I mean, that adds up. It's a very open-ended question. Maybe we can end on this. I'm not sure if anyone else has anything more to say, but do you guys like being famous?
No. Wait. Fuck. I don't know.
Like just like an honest answer. I'm just curious because I said my thoughts. But.
So, I like. Part of being famous is that it can't be turned off. I really like being. I will say there are times I love being in the spotlight. Oh my god, there are times I absolutely thrive in it and I'm about it. Like, I never released the video on it, but like when I dressed up as SpongeBob at the last Too Many Games, I went around in a SpongeBob costume just interviewing random people. I went up on like one of the stages, I asked people, you know, random stand-up questions. Like that, it was just so much fun to just be like that center of like, all right, I'm in my zone, I'm feeling it, shit's good and shit's going well. And then there's times where I'm like, I'm not feeling it. Don't look at me. But like that's the part of fame. Yeah. Do not perceive. That's the thing about fame is that it is a not turn offable thing unless you do, you know, an alt on social media. Yeah, there's ways to mask it, but it's never. It's something. It's always a presence. It's something about you at this point. It can fall off. It can either be off or on, but it's not something I can just be like, no, I have decided I am not famous today. Yeah. I mean, again, there are masks for it. So there are ways to do that, but it's never like a full-on thing. If you are in the attention spotlight and you want to get out of it, but you're kind of stuck in it, then you got to stay in it. I don't know. Overall, my answer, if I had to say a definitive yes or no, I would say yes, though.
That's understandable. I remember how I worded it like a couple years ago. Not even a couple. Yeah, fuck. 2020 was a couple years ago. What the fuck? Yeah, I remember how I worded it back then. It was, I said to one of my friends that I'm an introvert. I'm an introverted extrovert, so I have extroverted tendencies. I'm an introvert who's anxious as hell, that just likes making videos, and now suddenly there's a spotlight on me. And I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing here? Because nothing has changed in between. I mean, apart from me being louder, I guess. Nothing has changed between me being an introvert making videos to 10 people to me being an introvert making videos to 80,000 people. So, and you are right when you say like there are times I love it, because I've definitely felt myself when I would stream to like a couple hundred people and I'd farm Keck W's and people would be laughing at all my jokes. Like, it's great. Like there will be streams where I'm on fire and my commentary is great and there's people like, you know, there's the live chat is feeding my ego and I'm like, this is awesome. I feel great. I feel good about myself. And like when I went to Too Many Games and I got like, there was people asking for like autographs and stuff and I only had like 10,000 subs. That was fucking cool. So like there are times where I do like it, but it's in moderation. And like you said, it cannot be turned off. So I agree with some of your points on that for sure. What about you, Gam? What are your thoughts?
I definitely love fame, but I think, you know, fame is a lot like being a dad. There are a few moments that are absolute miracles and that makes you think, wow, this is the most fabulous thing of all time. I wish to never change it. But there's a lot of shit in being a dad, so get ready for it. And so is fame. But I definitely love fame. I think there's a part of me that, and it's kind of a love-hate situation because I realize that it's a slippery slope between being liking being liked in a point where it becomes everything you care about because you're like, I want to be so liked so much and I'm gonna, you know, sacrifice everything else just so that people love me, you know. And it's the tricky part about fame. It's not losing yourself in the idea that other people love you, because of course they love you, but there's a point where you gotta ask yourself, do I really want these people to love me? Like, there's a few of them that you're like, if this guy likes me, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should reconsider my life at some point.
Right.
Fame is pretty chill. I like it.
Pretty chill.
Fame is pretty chill. GG Gabriel Gaming. Father of one.
Jay, how you feeling about fame?
I don't know. I have a weird relationship with that because the word fame makes me feel really weird because I don't like to call myself famous because I worry that there's a connotation with that is like belief that you're above other people.
Real quick, stepping in, I feel like pretty much every YouTuber feels that way. Everyone I've spoke about almost not detest, but they struggle to call themselves famous. They don't feel famous, even if they have like 1 million subs or like a gorillion subs. It's
A gorillion?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Do they give a play button for that one?
Yeah, they do. It's a monkey paw.
Yeah. One gorilla.
Brilliant.
You get 3 wishes.
Holy snap. Dude, we gotta get making videos, dude.
But yeah, no, that is a very common theme I've heard with a lot of YouTubers. I use the word famous just because I know that's like the word that people looking at it from the outside, like the people listening to the podcast right now, might understand a bit better. But no, I agree. Like I don't like the idea of thinking I'm famous or better than anyone else. Right. But yeah, sorry, continue.
So I have trouble even identifying in that sense of like popular or like fame or whatever, dealing with this spotlight or whatever. I guess just because I do love it. I love absolutely every aspect of like, if I can go on a stage and, you know, I have my panel and 60 people show up and I can show something to them that brings real human beings laughter and that brings real people happiness and whatever else, and then I can see that tangible crowd of people laughing and clapping and applauding whenever I sign off, like that isn't a feeling that cannot be I think compared to anything. Yeah. And I don't see it as like, yes, pay attention to me, see me, whatever else, and it's in my eyes it's like, this is my chance to do something that influences something on somebody's life. And I don't know where that comes from. I don't know where the desire, the psychological reasoning for that is. I guess I just, you know, there's a lot of people and YouTubers that make me laugh. And if I can provide that for other people while laughing at myself, I feel like, yes, I've done something today. It has made a mark on people. And if people come on, it's a surreal feeling when people come up and they're like, yeah, can I get your autograph? Can I picture you, whatever. But at the same time, I'm like, hell yeah, like, let's remember this moment that we came to this convention and we've met each other and we happen to both like video games and we would like, yeah, dude, like this is a cool thing that we've somehow our universes have collided that you enjoy these videos and found those videos, and then I'm here and I make those videos, and then we met at a place and it's like, wow, it's amazing. So I don't know. I guess I know there's a lot of negativity that comes with it too, being in, you know, a big spot of attention where people are looking at you and you feel the pressure of it and you're like, okay, I gotta do this and that. But I don't know, at the same, I really do enjoy having an influence over a certain audience, because it means like, all right, I can do something with this. I can say something that'll make people happy. I can say something that will do something good one way or another. And it's very rare that people will be able to say they can do that. So I love it.
Yeah. Like, I wanted to say that I made it sound very cut and dry when I said I don't like the fame. I'm like, it's not awesome. I meant there are a lot of negative things that come with being famous and known and like having clout on the internet that I really could do without. Just like the randos on like the random people on Twitter, like the YouTube comment section, live chats, people just saying like heinous stuff to you even though they've never met you in person. Like the list goes on. But there are a lot of good things about having a platform, and you mentioned a lot of them. Having influence over people. I remember one of the main driving reasons I wanted to do anything like this in the first place was I saw Markiplier doing a charity live stream, and he raised something like, I want to say like $20,000 in a day And I was like, fuck, dude. He can just do that. He can play video games and like rally all these people. He has like this influence on people to do so much good in the world. And being able to like, you know, make people laugh, entertain people, and have influence to do something way bigger than yourself is like the coolest thing about having a platform. Yeah, I know, right? Charity's awesome, right?
He's a big fan of Virus.
Big fan of Charity too.
This is what fame does to you, Virus.
It turns you into a baby.
Turns you into a child. But no, you're right. And even before YouTube, when I was a musician, when I was in like, because I've been in like I've been in pop punk bands before and like rock and roll bands and stuff. Getting on stage and performing to like the 12 people that would show up was awesome. It was so sick. So I completely get being in your element, going on stage, doing your panel, and that being like the coolest thing in the world and you feeling on top of the world. One day when I do my panel when I hit 100,000 subscribers, that's a thing I want to do eventually. Both hit 100K and do a panel. But when I eventually do that panel, I think I'm going to feel the same. People like, even if I get like 10 people showing up, that's going to be 10 people that came to a convention and came to my panel and watched me do something live. That's fucking cool. So yeah, I get it.
Yep.
What I meant by I don't like, by I hate being famous is, I hate saying it like that. What I meant by I hate having a platform, being popular on the internet, I guess, is the negativity, the bad stuff, because there's a lot of it.
Yeah,
that's all I had to say.
Yep. Yeah. I have come to the conclusion that you're all too caught up and conflicted in fame, and you should give it to me. Thank you all for watching. Please subscribe to Failboat and also Mouthfuls, but Failboat for more fame for me.
Yeah.
These have been the wonderful Mouthfuls.
Subscribe to me. I'd like to hit 100,000. That's like a tenth of this guy. He doesn't need all that.
Yeah.
Sub to me, baby Gigi needs a new pair of shoes, okay?
Listen, all of these guys are in the 6-digit subscriber counts. I'm still in the 5. Let's get all of us to 6. Please?
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be really cool.
You know what? And while you're at it, subscribe to me. My YouTube channel is Failboat103. Give that thing a nice good old sub. Get on
I
over
like
there.
Why would you give it to him? I'm the one that needs it the most.
Hey man, distribute the wealth. You heard?
Virus,
Thank you all for watching.
Virus, you kept saying that fame is bad. We don't want to give you any more. Okay?
Well, since you don't want it.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
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 I think Capcom does a great job when they're adding like collaboration characters.
I've never been able to extend this way.
Oh god, I gotta get the helmet on. Oh god, oh god.
Wait a minute, our guy's a bad guy the whole time.
I just think it's crazy that I'm better at video games now than when I was like 16.
That is how you fix all the problems with all these games.
I feel like toy distribution is so different than it used to be.
They resculpted over the chest. They gave him a flak jacket over it.
I laugh when I see Among Us, but I'm not having fun inside. It's a reflex.
No, you took my joke!